Hello and welcome to today's Saving Live. As you can see, I'm alone today. So Daniel is on vacation, and as Mike wrote on Discord right before the show, I probably should go on a vacation soon as well, but we'll see. We'll see how this will go. I asked on Discord if my microphone is okay. I heard all the cries that we're too quiet, so I tried to get it a little bit louder. Wrote on Discord. But yeah, I'm not sure, and I hope it does not break. Like OBS is overtuning, but yeah, we'll see. Please let me know. Please give feedback if you hear something. I'm still tweaking a little bit. Okay, super cool. What's up at Saving? We have been still hard at work getting the kernel extension out and going. Still hard at work already preparing the Tauri conversion and getting all of this out. Mike says the microphone sounds perfect. Yeah, well, sometimes OBS just hits full on red, and I'm not sure if if that is an issue. Again, I keep on repeating this. We're not a media company, so please forgive me. Please forgive us if we have issues, and yeah, be a little bit patient. We're only doing this every other week, so for us to do improvements, it's very low priority, let's say. No, for me, for the topic today, what I wanted to sort of like otherwise go through and talk about a little bit was what we're currently doing in regards to app profiles. Also, for those who are on the Wiki and who are German speakers, a lot more stuff in German is coming out, so we actually have help for this during the summer. Someone is helping us in regards to creating more app profiles, and you see that in the pull request if you look, and similar to the Wiki pages. And so if like there are questions or maybe people who are interested in translating into different languages, please reach out. German, of course, is our language, so that's easy for us to proofread as well, and so it's easier for us to start with, so that we can actually sort of like look through and make sure that there is no like offensive stuff on there, because if it's a language we don't speak, we would have no clue what people are writing and if it's actually helpful or not. So if you speak a second language and if you're interested in helping with documentation, the Saving Wiki actually makes this fairly easy, and we have already lots of contributors in English, which is super cool as well. The whole like Proton VPN guide is made by Esco, I think, who's also very active on the Discord. Not sure if Esco has ever been part of the Saving Live, but maybe maybe he does not like YouTube. Who knows? Lots of stuff going on, lots of things happening on the Wiki and in the, I think it's called portmaster-community and then /apps, the repo. The reason why I bring both of the Wiki and this up is the link actually is in the Wiki to get to those app profiles. And the idea is, and I think I talked about this on the Discord, in the long run, maybe the idea is to have this applied automatically. And Portmaster is actually built in a way where the community profiles can slide in between the global and the app profile settings as well. So that you could basically have the community profile auto apply all the time. You set a global standard, a filter, like a community in between, and then you can tweak as you need it, but don't have to sort of like for the future, don't have to sort of like update and change the community profile every time. And if the community profile would get updated with new insights, you don't have to go in and then redo your tweaks all the time. So the idea ultimately is to have it integrated more seamlessly. And this, of course, also like goes together with the sync feature. Like the reason why we built the import export thing is because of the sync feature. We had this community profile idea before we had the sync feature idea. That's the reason why Portmaster was already built this way. But it turned out that we're going with the manual import export in a similar way to how we want to do the sync feature. And I think it makes sense because like it allows you to have transparency, and it allows you, like, again, we talked about this in the past, the sync feature just does multiple of those exports into a folder and imports them automatically, or checks automatically if there are changes in this folder and then imports them automatically. So it does not actually connect to a different Portmaster, but you would have to use something like Nextcloud or Syncthing to sort of like distribute the contents of that folder. But I feel like because you can look into each profile and verify what's in there, it's more transparent, you understand what is happening, and it's also good for backing up your configuration for each application and so on. And how all of this will work together, if we're ending up with the community profiles in the middle, I cannot say. This will then probably mean that the sync feature might be different, or that we will have to look and cross that bridge when we come to it. But I wanted to let you sort of like know how we're thinking about this and how it's going and what the situation is. I think, oh, Hunter, you are writing in the wrong, we're on the 11th of July today. Just by accident saw that there's somebody writing in the other Saving Life thread. Daniel is on vacation, so Hunter was asking. Daniel is on vacation. He is, I think, in Austria, though. I'm not sure. So he's not far gone, but he's enjoying the sunshine and the hot weather we're having in Austria. I know Germany gets a lot of rain. We don't. It's quite hot around here, 30 degrees Celsius and above at the moment, but AC in the office, so that works out fine. Yeah. So yeah, the community profiles, the app settings, again, like our goal was to have them easier, and for those people who had looked at them from the get-go, they actually probably remember that there have been numbers in there as well, which also has been a legacy thing. We talked about this several live streams, I think last year, maybe ago, when we killed the network rating for good. The numbers, instead of allow and block, were a remnant of this, because the network rating required a matrix where you have sort of like different stages and what networks, what is allowed and blocked and stuff like that. And so again, like, we want to have everything as understandable and as clear as possible, and that's the reason why we started moving away from the numbers, why we started moving towards having everything readable, human readable as well. And we will see how automatic syncing will work and how this will impact the readability of the files. But we aim to have it as readable and as transparent as possible, while keeping it as, like, from a logical perspective, as easy as possible. That's just how we want it to be. And if you disagree, let us know. If you have a better idea, this is, like, again, something we're planning and something we're moving towards. But we made changes in the past. Again, like, we moved away from the numbers, which made sense. I recently posted in Beach Bar the screenshot, like, on the Discord Beach Bar channel, if you're not on a Discord yet, the screenshot of Portmaster, how it started. The first release, I think it was over 4 years ago now. And back then, the network rating was front and center. And so this is, again, like this is why the settings used to be like this, because we thought this is a main feature, and we found that people did not understand, and it was too complicated, and it was very complicated in the UI. We understand we did not have a great concept and idea, and we sort of like shifted away from this, and we have a little bit more ideas and better ideas. I think I shared this in the past as well, where we actually want to have different, like straight different portmaster environments, I think I called them, where you basically can change environment and then the whole portmaster changes, and you can change every setting and not just a couple of ones and stuff like that. So it makes more sense. You can actually do context switches and so forth, and then everything can change. But again, very complicated, and we will have to see how this will work out. But from a concept, we understood that this is probably better suited for the future, because you actually want to sort of like understand and see everything, how you want it to work, and then you can start setting like the context, which environment am I in, and not just have like predefined network ratings. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. There have been some stuff on Discord. Why is the blue moon Discord blocks woke up? What? Why in the blue moon Discord blocks woke upwards? Yeah. Keeping it easier always better. That's crazy. Yeah. Hunter, it's just Discord automod is a thing. I don't want to, because we have people that help, and of course Mike is one of them, so thank you, Mike, and Odin of course as well. Thank you, Odin. But we are not moderators, not media people, not moderators, and so the automod has a couple of words in there which we're like, okay, good, we don't want people accusing other people and stuff like that can be okay. We leaned on the caution side of things, just to not wake up in the morning and then have to deal with a huge mess on the Discord. That's basically the reason. And yes, you sort of like sometimes then have to rephrase what you want to say, but you still see your old message. So please just copy, paste, replace the word that it says is on the naughty list, and just continue with your day. Oh, super fun. Yeah, the screenshot still is fun. All the face palms. I do like the cat face palm though. Thank you, Hunter, for giving me. Oh, super cool. And Mike says caution is good. Yeah, we have a super nice community, which I so much appreciate and don't take for granted. I think we talked about this in the past as well. That I just get out of bed versus woke up classic. Okay. Well, exactly. So we talked with the people from Little Snitch back in the day, and they had a very interesting, like, their community took a turn for the worse, and sort of they shut it actually down because of this. And to be honest, like even 3 years ago, we had internal talks if it's actually like proper, if you should keep, like if you should do a Discord community, and we were scared, like. We were scared because like people opening up to people on the internet and allowing for people to just talk, scary stuff, super scary stuff. And we're so thankful for people who are helpful, who are kind, who are like actually calling out people who are misbehaving and stuff like that. So I guess me sitting alone here is a little bit of an appreciation time as well, where I just can tell y'all that this is very much appreciated, and people who are helping each other and helping the community is super cool. And it takes a lot of work away from us and a lot of burden away from us, and we can focus on other things, and trust that the community keeps being cool. Lucas also said, totally agree, the community is amazing. And it's not just, and what I like as well is that it's not just about like safing and Portmaster, but it's also about privacy. And actually, like when Sodin posted, I think in Beachport, the stuff about the SSH thing, this was the first time I read about it. And we then of course went and looked what update status which of our servers have. Do we need to update these, that, and I updated all my personal servers. So that was super useful, and just so that it's not just focused on what we do and what Portmaster does and can do. Super cool. And also, like, for people who are watching this and are interested, absolutely okay with us. There is a line, but I think it has almost never been crossed. So And Lucas says he thinks community is super important. Yeah, I actually agree. But when we started with Portmaster, we were so busy, and I guess people might recall, we were so busy pushing so many things out. And we know, like, some people called Portmaster to be a little bit like too much, and we're doing too much. And we agree. Like, Portmaster is doing so many things in your system. It was a lot to push over the finish line, and V1 was a huge milestone. I think at V1 we already had that community, so a little bit before V1 we started with it. But from like, would we do it again? Maybe then is the question. Would we do all of those things together? And the answer might be no. In retrospect, we might have started the other way around and started with SPN, and then started with the firewall, and then started with the filter lists. But from where our heart was, we wanted to get the filter lists out first. Because yes, people could run a pie hole in the network and stuff like that, but we see more and more applications ignoring system DNS and trying to bypass it. If you run Portmaster, and Discord, you probably have seen that Discord sometimes tries to support the system DNS. And Portmaster actually needs firewall, like it needs to be a firewall to protect it from this. If you only run a pie hole, then Discord would just bypass it. And pie hole would not even know, because of course, like, it's on the network. It's not on the device. It does not see the traffic which is not directed to it. So we actually saw this as a bigger need, and we thought, well, we will figure all of the other stuff out later, which eventually we did. But as you recall, like late last year, we were like in a situation where everything was sort of like coming to a point where we were not sure if everything turns out for the better. And no, I'm just glad that it did, and I'm glad that the community helped us to get to this point, and that it is actually growing. Like, even the Discord is growing from week to week, from day to day. There are a couple people joining it each day, and that's just super cool. And I think mostly cool people. Like, some, of course, only come by, ask 3 questions, and then never show up again. And I'm sometimes scared. Daniel actually said when I did the at all or at everyone for what did I'm not actually sure what I asked. I think it was because of the app profiles. I did a rare at everyone, and the fun thing was, Daniel said, well, now all the people who are never, like, who only came here to ask 1 question, they're all back now, or at least take a look. And partly the reason why at everyone is not cool, because, like, it stirs up people maybe. And on the other hand, of course, I don't want the people who are active anyway to sort of like nag them and distract them. Hunter says the filter lists are the next thing featuring Portmaster. No, filter lists are already a thing. Like, we started with it. Like, that was DNS and filtering was what we started with, and that was the reason for it. Sort of like that's part of the complex part that we need to figure out. We did not just want to do a DNS thing that's local, like a local pie hole. We wanted to actually make sure that nothing can, like, because then the benefit would be minimal. We want to make sure that all the traffic needs to go there. That's the reason why we added the firewall to it. And then not just like, and so we already had two components, which are very complex. And in the beginning, what I kept on telling, like 4 years ago, what I kept on telling Daniel and the others was, the big issue is when we screw something up, the person who has run Portmaster has no access to the internet. And if they don't know how to fix the issue themselves, they're stuck. Maybe, hopefully, they have a phone and they can use that, but they're stuck. And especially when you, Hunter says he just woken up. Yeah, well, and especially back then, the system should have restored completely to normal when you uninstall Portmaster. But of course, like, we were just getting started 4 years ago. And so making sure that this actually works as intended has been a huge priority for us. And I guess everybody who's now using Portmaster and installing and deinstalling without issues, I hope you never have any issues, and I hope this won't come back up in the future. But yeah, 4 years of experience has helped us a lot, and we have grown like a lot over the years. And so in totality, I would say we're in a very good spot at the moment. And people like Mike keep on saying, like, he keeps on installing Portmaster on different machines and telling people, and he does not find any issues, so he cannot report anything and cannot tell us what is not working. And I guess for most people who are like new to privacy, that's the case, and they don't have anything installed. But I also recently got somebody who was asking why something is not working and telling me the system was freshly set up. And then I looked at the debug information into the Windows firewall protocol like list, and it was almost 300 lines in there. And I'm like, this is not a fresh install. You're like more than 200 lines beyond a fresh install. So whatever you're doing with your system, good riddance. It's not, it's like, and I don't even, like, if I would have unlimited time and resources and everything, I'd like to help everybody. But if you tweak your system into a state that is not working, I'm sorry. Especially for people who are not sort of like supporting us. It's hard for us to support them, of course, as well, because we need to help the people who are supporting us. Yeah. I guess there was a question coming. Somebody was typing, but did not hit enter. Maybe I answered the question already. Yeah. No, so filter lists and DNS sort of like had to be in there from the get-go, because we wanted to have it to work together and to not be able to be bypassed, and to not be able to to actually be more useful than a Pi-hole or something. And I guess the comparison blog post to Pi-hole, I think I need to sort of like look into and maybe update for the future. CW5 and some other stuff behind it. First time caller, first time listener. Oh, first time listener as well. Good to know. We have tons of people who are not interacting with us. And I'm always curious what people already have seen when they ask a question for the first time. Any updates on the VPN compatibility? We are compatible, like with native WireGuard and native OpenVPN, we're compatible. Just install OpenVPN client and import the profiles, and your VPN of your choice will work with free Portmaster. The clients, the VPN clients, the stuff and the tweaking all the VPN companies think they have to do, we are not responsible for their shenanigans, and we cannot stay compatible with all of them. We know that some of them are aware of this and keep fixing stuff and then breaking stuff again and then fixing stuff again. Don't know, maybe they have multiple versions and maybe they sort of like circle between them, and maybe it has to sort of like propagate through their different things. I have no clue. There is, and I said this earlier, there is a very cool guide by ESCO which is written for Proton VPN, which again, like, I have at least one virtual machine where I have Proton VPN and Portmaster and SPN running, all three at this. I mean, SPN and Portmaster is the same, but everything running at the same time. Not recommended. Should not have said this on the live stream that I do this, but not recommended. This is so like, it technically is the VPN tunnel and then SPN going through the VPN tunnel. You should not do this, but it works, and it works perfectly, and with all the updates. So people who have issues probably should talk to their VPN people, because I know and I test Portmaster works with at least the typical VPN people, at least on most versions. That's what I'm saying. And yes, there are some versions that break compatibility, and yes, like from them, I think no Portmaster version update has yet broken compatibility with VPNs. But yeah, that's sort of like our approach to this. Arch users are about to be upset. Why are Arch users about to be upset? Browse sec with Portmaster today, 100% VPN compatible. Cool, yeah. I know. Thank you, Hunter. Not sure though with the Arch. Maybe explain. Mike says, if one uses a VPN while using safing, it is the last node, a VPN provider node versus an SPN? No, Mike, so it depends. It depends. But typically no, because a VPN is basically a new network interface, and SPN just uses a network interface, and then but like the connection would be established again in the exit node. If you watch my video, those Mentos would go through the new network interface, and then the Mentos would, so the VPN provider would not know what you're doing, and then the Mentos would continue to the first node, the second node, and whatever. So no, would not work, because the VPN connection then would have to go from the exit node to the VPN, and this is not how it works. A VPN is not smart enough for this. So not how it works. CW5, you're welcome. CW5 said thanks, and you're welcome. Further questions, please, if you want to disclose what VPN provider you're asking about, I can let you know what my experiences have been in the past. But again, like, if you run OpenVPN and import the things, it should work. We're not testing every version of OpenVPN with Portmaster, but from a fundamental technology, it should work. Mike says, I gave up ever using a VPN ever since safing. Less problems with safing all around. Thank you. Yeah, but there are use cases for VPNs, and I understand. So thank you, and I understand you, Mike, but I don't know about all the use cases. Hunter explained the Arch comment because you don't want to support users' tweet systems. Yes, I understand and I agree. And debugging Arch stuff is, of course, very hard. We have Arch people. I used to, okay. We have Arch people on the team. And the first distro that I liked was Manjaro. And I know Manjaro, see, I'm gonna make Arch people even madder. Manjaro is not Arch necessarily, but it's more Arch adjacent than any other distro. Like it's closest to Arch, of course. And so I feel like I actually started to like Linux in the Arch mist area, whatever, Arch cloud, so to speak. So, and I guess I said this on multiple live streams. I'm a Fedora guy now. Yeah, that's just the distro that I like. But I'm running other distros on other machines. But if somebody would have to press me and ask me what is the last distro I would want to use, Fedora, and now second hot take, GNOME. I don't like KDE. I don't like it. Does not work well with NVIDIA. And then people are like, oh, that's NVIDIA's fault. But tell me, are there more NVIDIA graphics cards out there? Or are there more KDE desktops out there? And then who has to adapt to whom? Just my little opinion here. Of course, I'd like if NVIDIA would be more open source and actually but they don't have to be. And I bought a couple of our AMD graphics cards over the decades in the belief that I would actually use Linux. Hasn't been true until recently, and now I'm stuck with my NVIDIA graphics card. But maybe my next one will be AMD again. Or Intel. I heard they're fairly good on Linux as well now. Who would have guessed? Mike said, no is what I thought. I got asked that the other day. Good Lord, is a VPN not smart enough? Yeah. Yeah, it is not. It's a dumb pipe routing the traffic. And again, I did a video. You can watch it. I hope it explains fairly well what the differences are. And again, like all the leaks that VPNs have to worry about is because the tunnel itself is a dumb pipe. And there is nothing smart about the pipe. And as soon as traffic gets out of it, it's valid traffic. And there's nothing smart about it. And that's how you can imagine it. And like with the SPN, the traffic is smart. And so, and encrypted and all that stuff. So it's we don't have to worry about as many things as VPN people do. C5W, I guess, is now Osiris. Currently using HideMe. Well, I've heard of them, and I think I might actually have used them a decade ago or so. Not sure. HideMe is not on the list of people typically asking us about. Again, there's a reason why Eska wrote it for Proton VPN. But yeah, Mulvad is up there as well, and IVPN is up there as well. So those would be the three that people are asking us most of the time. Mike said, for me, Fedora has been solid since day one with safing. Yeah. See, the stuff that we use is the stuff where Portmaster works on. That's just like, I mean, that's how it works, isn't it? And I tried other distros without many issues, but Fedora is super solid. Yeah, I agree. Tried other issues as well, and the recent complaint was, I think this might have been on GitHub anyway, so it is probably public, but I think it was Linux Mint. And there was a complaint with Linux Mint, and that person, maybe one of you can help that person. I tried it. I actually downloaded Linux Mint and installed it. Not my distro, Cinnamon, absolutely not my desktop environment. But like he said he had to disable the firewall and stuff like that. No, just plain install, portmaster install, all works. No bypassing, no shenanigans. I don't know what's up with people not reading or thinking something is vanilla and then doing tons of changes. And no, it's a clean install. Love you all, but that's not a clean install. Hunter said, so that's the reason why there's no AUR package on the official website. There is. AUR, you can, like we are on the AUR, you just like need to go into the download section and then there's a link into the AUR. There is. Hunter, I know you just woke up, but there is an official AUR, but the curl installer works fairly well as well. But the AUR, and somebody did in the past sort of like hijack it, but we took it back. So no, we are actually the ones maintaining the AUR. If somebody else did change something, I think you can see it and you should look at it. But we sort of like keep an eye on the AUR package, and it's ours, and we are supporting it. Hunter also says KDE is not to blame. NVIDIA is ass and hates open source. Beware, hot topic. Yeah, I know. Also saw all the okay, Hunter just posted the screenshot. The download page, not the download button. They're on the top bar, and I know people don't see that all the time, but on the top bar, there's a Wiki button and FAQ. Sometimes people are like, oh, I could not find the documentation. I'm like, there's a Wiki button. I mean, isn't Wiki universal for like documentation? Whatever. And there's a download button up there as well. And then you find the AUR card. Or go into the Wiki. In the Wiki, there's also a link to the AUR. So you will find your way. So yeah, I have my opinions. So Hunter also said, again, like back to the NVIDIA stuff, I agree. And they're like, they are not caring about consumers a lot anymore either. So they still make great graphics cards, I guess. And they're still better than AMD and Intel. I don't know. I'm in a, like, I hope that some competition comes along. And again, like both, as far as I understand, Intel and AMD are much more into open source and actually helping people there. So I hope that one of them gets better fast. Hunter uses Fedora too. Yeah, super cool. Where is that what Esko wrote? Lucas asks. Just use the search. Use the search. I always use the search as well. I cannot tell you how to find it otherwise. Look for Proton VPN or look for compatibility. I think it is compatibility as well. Those are the two things, or just Proton. I send out the link quite frequently. Hunter said, opened it and found it. Thank you, super cool. But it's so unintuitive. Why? I don't like, you need to click on a link. It's not a download thing. So you need to open the AUR anyway. I like, how would you do it more intuitively? Love to know. Actually would love to know. Mike says no NVIDIA, question mark. Yes, competition needed, please. No NVIDIA? I don't quite get what you're saying, Mike. But yeah, no, and they do cool stuff for the consumer things as well. I recently had an interview with Ken again, or like a podcast situation, Ken Harris, who did the cool video where he said Portmaster best free firewall. So nice guy, like him a lot. And we talked about, and what the pre-show with this recording, what he said actually is he uses the NVIDIA voice cleanup and stuff like this. So NVIDIA actually pushing what you can do with their hardware as a consumer. Also the eye thing where you can look somewhere else and it auto changes the eyes to look into the camera. Super interesting stuff. I mean, you don't have to use it, but that they make their hardware like work for you. Super cool, super cool. I like that AMD is doing the FSR thing on the driver level. Not sure how efficient it is, again. But NVIDIA with DLSS also giving you more bang for your buck. Interesting. I'm just like, yeah, it's hard. Maybe there are cool people working at NVIDIA doing cool stuff. And just like the management sometimes makes difficult decisions. Maybe that's the reason. Because I'm sort of split, and maybe the people in there are split as well. Oh, Mike just posted the interview. That, I think, was the first one. There has been a new one. I think in the thumbnail it's only him. But Mike posted the first one, and yes, this is Ken. This has been the first one, and the second one he actually said that we will do this in a couple of weeks again. Not sure. I like him, and I like the conversations that we're having, and I guess the best conversations for me are the ones before and after. But in the middle we record some stuff, and it's typically way later for me as well when we record. So if I seem a little bit tired, it's because I am. I think we will record this after 10 p.m. for me. Typically not a time where I'm very well and fast in my head. Okay, Hunter says our website is unintuitive for an average Fedora user. Yeah, but for an average Fedora user, hiding the AUR is not a bad thing, you know? I'm still, Hunter, I don't get what your issue is. Are you saying that AUR people, or like Arch people in general, don't like when it hurts and they have to work for the thing that they want? I don't get it. And we just give them more of what they're looking for. Hunting, searching, and some tweaking. Hunter says, but as an AMD user, I suspiciously agree on fair and respectful competition between both. I'm not sure what you mean by fair. And Mike says, I'm a big AMD guy. My laptop actually is AMD, fairly good. Like it, can recommend it. My CPUs have been since Ryzen 1 AMD CPUs. I agree, AMD is cool, but on the GPU side, I made the mistake and bought a Vega 64 back in the day instead of the 1080 or 1080 Ti. I think was already out when I bought it, and it was super expensive, the Vega 64. I got some out of it, some money out of it when the crypto boom happened and Ethereum was still mineable. I still had it and just, chucked it into, booted up the old system basically and started mining Ethereum. Super interesting experience. Was not into crypto before and still am not much into crypto, but the concept of stabilizing a distributed currency system by providing hardware into a pool or into a network, super interesting. This concept I like. That Ethereum then changed it, and now it's proof of stake, not proof of work, because of the energy stuff, which again I understand, but yeah, just my 2 cents. So I guess I made my money back on the purchase, but from a gaming perspective, it did not work well. It was not supported, and even AMD, after the Vega 64, was it Radeon 7? I think they did one iteration of this concept with the RAM on die thing, and they moved away. Who knows? Hunter says, I like FSR and frame gen more, 2 times FPS for free, extreme ghosting, super grainy, but it's there just around the corner. Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. It's around the corner and it can help a lot. Oh, Lucas says I need to run. I actually, my schedule changed, but thank you, Lucas, for pointing that out. I said that I needed to go at half past. I have a little bit more time, but you're right. I probably won't stay here until the full hour, but my schedule changed a little bit. Thank you, Lucas, for reminding me. Hunter said, fair and respectful because AMD and NVIDIA has like 20 years of competition. It has to be fair after all. Yeah, I guess. I'm still not sure. Maybe I'm losing something, missing something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they have some competition. I think in the GPU space, NVIDIA has been better for like a long time now. Vega was an idea and they wanted to actually sort of like get ahead of NVIDIA, but the 10 series is still a great series. Like, and there have been a lot of videos recently on YouTube which have been recommended to me with people like getting the old Titan, or people using the 1080 or 1080 Ti. And I know people who are running in 1080 Ti. If you don't care about ray tracing, still a good card. And I think it's 8 years later. There's about still a good card. Would not recommend buying one. Maybe save up a little bit and get a new one. They are more power efficient than new ones. Okay. As I said, like I will be heading out a little bit sooner, and it's already 46. So if any more questions come in, I'm sorry for YouTube chat. I have it open. I don't think somebody wrote something on YouTube. If so, I'm sorry that I missed it. It does not show up for me. I'm only interacting with Discord chat. The link to the Discord is right below the video. So I guess if you have any last questions, please click on that link and ask them on Discord. I am just waiting for last questions, and otherwise I would do a wrap up. And I see Hunter is writing something, so I'm waiting on this. Let me see. I hope that there is no live chat is clear. At least on my second screen, it should be clear as well. Then again, for the future, let me know about the audio, because I apparently might be visiting Ken's video more often. I'm looking into then doing that maybe from my home office and getting a different audio setup there. So I might be learning some stuff. Also, he has, again, like great insights. He is a media person. So when he told me how to change stuff in OBS, I'm like, oh, this is great. I did not even know that I can do this sort of stuff in OBS. But yeah, so our audio might get better as well as a result. But I'm not sure. We're using those small Rode mics because we want to have our audio synchronous, which I feel like is more important than to have it loud. Because if we're like have a delay between each other, horrible. Ooh, Soya has something. Welcome, Soya. Hi, is best in the network action to prompt and allow the apps or allow and block apps individually? Great question, right at the end here. And the typical answer, as always, is it depends. But I guess with Portmaster, it depends a little bit less for two reasons. One, we have filter lists, so most of the really bad stuff should be blocked anyway. Second, the prompting feature, I said earlier, things we use are typically better. We don't like the prompt. We don't use the prompting feature, and I think none of us are. and we don't care a lot about it. We allow and block apps individually, and we configure apps. And I said earlier in the show, you might have not seen this, Soya, but we're actually pushing a lot of app profiles currently where you already have rules for the application where it's block everything and then only allow the 3 domains that are required, which is of course much better than a whack-a-mole with block lists, because like they can tomorrow decide to have a new domain. They like just add a new subdomain, you know, increment by 1 number or whatever. And so the allow list and then have block the app, I feel like is a better option. And if you set up something new and you don't know all the applications, I guess a global block and then allow per app would be the best option. If you use prompt feature, you can go in and sort of like change some of the settings to have them a little bit more open in regards to what they block and what they allow. But overall, I think I would not recommend using the prompt feature if you don't actually know that you want it. If you're asking, do allow and block per app. And we heard the cries of the people who are like, well, give us a prompt to allow and block each app. We hear it, and this after we did the new UI, then we can change how the prompts work, and then we can sort of like include something like this. We hear it and we want to actually improve it. I'm not saying it's bad and it will stay bad. I'm saying it is currently bad because we're not using it ourselves, but we hear it and we want to address stuff like this for the future, but it won't happen before we did the UI change, and the UI change has not been in beta yet. And as we said in a couple of live streams ago, and this will be a longer beta because we will actually push a new installer with it, and so on and so on. So this is a bigger overall change, which should come with tons more improvements and like making stuff faster and making stuff easier under the hood. So yeah. Hunter asks, so next big update when? This has been actually a question before. The next big update, I mean, the new kernel extension is fairly big, and it is currently in beta. If you're not on Windows, you don't care a lot, I guess. The next big feature update is the sync feature, and we have been talking about this for months. Again, it has been like we have come up against a couple of things we decided in the past and have had to change them throughout the process of getting this out. So this is a work in progress, but it should be out hopefully any week, at least in beta. You know, we have been using it internally for quite some time and testing it, but it should be out at least in beta very soon. But yeah. Again, like the next big update is more like with stability stuff, then it's the sync feature, and then we will look into the new UI. And yeah, afterwards, like with the new UI, when it's stable, we will call this a V2 release, and because it will include a lot of interesting other aspects for the future, we will probably move away from the auto update and have offline installers. Probably don't like expect them from day one, but we'll probably move towards offline installers, and for each version a new one and stuff like that. So there's sort of like the direction it's currently going, and I hope, like, again, Daniel is on vacation, it's summertime, people are away, at least most of them, and stuff like that, so it is a little bit slower, but I hope we will get this out in summer. Maybe the UI into beta in summer as well, so end of August. I hope. Keep my fingers crossed. I'm waiting for the last couple of messages. I think Hunter wrote something, Mike is currently writing something, and then wrap up. Mike says, this has been a great episode. Thank you for sharing your time and resources to give us privacy. Yeah, I'm glad. This has been, as I said in the beginning, like, this is the reason why we did not start with SPN, even though it's important for privacy as well. But having something that is reasonably available for free, that's the reason why we went that way. And thank you for appreciating what we do. Thank you for supporting what we do, Mike, and thank you for all the help. Mike has been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well, and it's much appreciated. Hunter then says, cool sync and new UI is super great to see sooner or later. New UI engine again. Like, it's not a redesign, it's the Tauri versus Electron, which will result in lower RAM usage for the UI, which will result in new capabilities in regards to I saw a couple of people asking about the notifier, like the little icon. This is currently a separate app. This will be like moved into the main application with us switching to Tauri and stuff like that. So lots of things will get better and easier with the switch, but it's not an UI change. No light theme for people curious. Hunter says, thank you for the solo stream. No, Daniel, but yes, Repo. Thank you. Yeah, Daniel actually asked if I actually want to do it. And I'm like, hey, if people show up and if people are here, it's always fun. And I don't want to just like not do it because Daniel is not here. Soya said, thank you. And you're welcome, Soya. And Hunter, yep, new UI core, no rounded corner button. Yeah, we'll see. Okay then. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you for the great conversation. I wish you all a super nice rest or start or whatever day. If you're watching this later on, leave comments below if you have any questions. You can also click on the link to the Discord and ask the questions on the Discord if you want. Just make sure you're on the right one. Typically we do the live streams every 2 weeks, so I can address the questions in the next live stream or answer them in the comment below. As Mike was saying in regards to like thanking us, again, like we're doing this for privacy and we appreciate all the support that we're getting. There are multiple ways you can support us. You can share Portmaster. We actually have been growing in regards to people asking questions and opening issues again and stuff like this. I mean, this is only, I know these are all bad things, but it shows us that there are new people coming in, which is always cool. So share Portmaster and let it grow that way. And if you can, and if you want to support us, Portmaster Plus is for all the people who are like just wanting us to support Portmaster, and SPN is with Portmaster Pro is, of course, as Mike has been saying, and super great alternative for VPNs. It actually is designed for privacy. I did a whole video about this with a Discord FAQ recently, so you can have a look there if you have any questions. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and have a great day. Bye.